Hello and welcome to this round 12 recap video from the Candidates Tournament 2018. I think it is fair to say that today was by far the most dramatic round of the event so far, as both leaders, Fabiano Caruana and Shahriar Mamediarov, lost their respective games. For both players, it is also their first defeat of the tournament, but let's take things in order. The first game to finish was the encounter between Shahriar Mamediarov and Ding Liren. I have to say, on a personal note, I was incredibly both surprised and impressed by how Ding Liren managed to bounce back after what must have been a devastating game yesterday when he couldn't win, a completely crushing position against Alexander Grishuk, to bounce back and beat Shahriar Mamediarov today with the black pieces. Not only did he break his drawing streak, he had drawn the first 11 games, but by beating Shahriar, he also joined him in second place and is now back in contention for the all-important first spot. When asked about the game afterwards, he said he felt very good, of course, to win his first game, and that he felt he had played some very good chess. Shahriar Mamediarov, on the other hand, said he felt he was better out of the opening, which probably objectively is the correct assessment, but that he played too aggressively, starting with the move g4 on move 28. After that, his position gradually got worse and worse, and Ding Liren never set foot wrong and converted what was a very nice game, so kudos to Ding Liren. That result also means that Ding Liren is now the only unbeaten player in the tournament, as the leader going into this round, Fabiano Caruana, went down to Sergei Karyakin in a remake of the encounter of the last round of the previous Candidates Tournament in Moscow 2016, a game which saw Sergei Karyakin go on to challenge Magnus Carlsen for the world title. It was a thrilling game in which the turning point came on move 17 when Sergei decided to give up the exchange by playing bishop takes d5. When asked about this move afterwards, Sergei said that of course it hadn't been an easy decision to give up the exchange, but that he felt he had to play like a man, and he also said that the tournament situation really demanded it, that if he hadn't sacrificed the exchange today, then when he was trailing by 1 point, so he felt that was the only way to go. Fabiano, on the other hand, commented that it was only after a few moves that he realized he couldn't do anything really, and he said practically it was so unpleasant, and each move it became more unpleasant, and therefore he pinpointed his previous move, bishop g4, the move that had invited the sacrifice, as a bad decision, and he reckoned he should have played f5 instead. As it was, Sergei Karyakin's bishop pair proved to be too powerful, and he went on to win a very nice game, thus joining Fabiano Caruana in the lead. Next up to finish were Grishuk and Aronian, a game which ended in a draw, and maybe the least eventful game of the day. Grishuk was maybe a tad better in the middle game, but it was never really anything serious, and a draw was agreed on move 54 in that game. That left us with only one game, that between Vladimir Kramnik and Wesley So. Despite it also ending in a draw, this was maybe the most exciting game of the day, at least in the opening stages, as Kramnik sacrificed a piece for 2 pawns, starting with the move e takes f4. The sequence that followed left him with excellent compensation, and he could very well have gone on to win that game had he played rook a e1 instead of giving up the bishop by playing bishop takes a6 on move 20, a move which left many commentators perplexed. As it was, he was still pressing with those 2 pawns for the piece, but Wesley So defended tenaciously, and the draw was eventually agreed just after the first time control. As mentioned previously, Sergei Karyakin has now joined Fabiano Caruana in the lead on 7 out of 12, but it is now important to note that the first tiebreak criteria here is the head-to-head, in which Sergei Karyakin leads, meaning that Fabiano will have to score more points than Sergei out of the remaining 2 games. Those 2 players are followed by Shahriar Mamediarov, Ding Liren and Alexander Grishuk on 6.5 out of 12. So all still left to play for these 5 players. Tomorrow is the final rest day of the event before the players reconvene at the Kühlhaus on Monday for what should be a very, very tense 13th round. On that day, Caruana will be white against Aronian, Karyakin will be black against So, Mamedyarov will be facing Grishuk, and finally Ding Liren will be white against Kramnik. So that promises to be another thrilling day of chess, and I'm looking forward to seeing you then. But for now, that's all from me here. Good night and see you soon.